Hey there, welcome to 50 Questions Friday for August 15th already of 2025. Well, good to have you all here today. Cool. Looks like all the technical things working today. So, gosh, gonna dedicate today to the heart space. Um, so if we if you would like to jump in there with me and take the 3 breaths to go into the heart. Um, Yeah, I probably won't even talk until we go into the heart space here. So here we go. And that is just a softening. Yeah, I've been taking lots of deep sighs this past week. And it's been a lot of epiphanies about being in the heart and not. Um, so, anyway, just asking for you all to also hold space here as we get back to creating and holding a sacred space here during our webinars, no matter what it is, 50 Questions Friday or anything. So, again, just closing your physical eyes if you wish, putting your attention onto the heart. And what we do is the Trinity breath is we imagine connecting heart to heart with that heart of the earth, that crystal sun, that light within the earth, and just breathing that in, taking a deep conscious breath from the earth up through the feet into the heart, and just being present right here with that breath, with that connection to the earth. And the second breath is just you opening, softening, allowing in the I am that I am, all that you are. The soul, your light, the I am presence, the master you, all the human parts of you, even the hidden parts that feel they have no voice, inviting them into all that you are. And don't be scared of any parts and pieces of you, because when you invite them to your light, the healing and the transformation takes part with all these pieces, the wounded parts, the parts still in trauma and fight and flight and all the things. So that just brings all of that together. And, if we were doing the third breath here, it's just grounding, bringing together all of it here. But that's what we did there in this second breath, is you invited in all that you are, all your consciousness, all your energy. Okay, well, thank you guys for helping hold space for that wonderful shift here. Hey, Connie from Milwaukee. Hey, Renard, good to see you here. Hey, Malit. All right, so we don't have too many questions here for 50 Questions Friday. Somebody had a question about the large Gaia sphere, the 12-inch, if we'll be making that again in the new energy. And yeah, we eventually will. We're trying really hard to replace all the tools that we have right now with the new energy so that we can, a lot of visions here. We want to simplify all the names, the website, everything. And so we're just working towards that. And yes, the Gaia sphere, the giant one, we will definitely make those again. It just may not be until, as fast as time's flying, who knows? So let's see. I think that was the only question we had. So an update on the tools. Let's see. What do we have new out this week? We have one 15-inch ring left for sale. So if any of you guys here want a free 12-inch grounding ring, we have one 15-inch ring still left in stock. The highest potentials, and with that right now, we're giving away a free grounding ring, the 12-inch. And the 12-inch grounding rings are also on sale at 40% off. So you can get a heavy-duty 12-inch grounding ring for like $68. Heck of a deal. It really is. So let's see. Those ones are, yeah, you'll find those on the website under the clearance. Um, but we will be, let's see, we just released generators. So we have the 1.5 and the 2.5 inch generators. So we're no longer carrying the Golden Fire generators, except for the 8 inch and a few of the wrist generators, the bracelet generators. But otherwise, the Golden Fire is going out. So the 2.5 inch that we always use for energetic transformation kits, kind of our more popular generator, that Golden Fire one, 2.5 inch, those are gone. And now we have the new home generator. The home field generator is the one that replaces the 2.5 inch. Now, if you are looking still for things that have a large sphere of influence that go out in this plane, get them now. That's the Harmony that has the 12-inch field of influence. Those are 33% off. And then we also, again, have two different versions of the Golden Fire generators that have the 5.5 mile sphere of influence. The new energies are not about... It's a different paradigm. Instead of trying to send this energy out into this plane, and it's kind of like a separation between you and this. So that's the thing, is that the old generators, well, the old energies kind of helped create a perception that it wasn't quite all you that was doing the work, yet it always was. People want something that they can buy that will do the work for them. And really, the new tools, they're like that. The generator, you don't have to sit in meditation and be a guru and all the things to make it work the greatest. Just sit it and forget it. It's all it is holding the field, and then it's between you and your field. And that field is all you. And so the new generators, and well, the new energies in particular, are not... they're not really meant to go out and affect the world on this plane from you outwards. The new energies affect the world on this plane so much more than the old tools, but it does it by first coming internal through you. And it is your light, your awareness, the clarity, the expansion, everything that flows from you into the world. And it is actually your light that is harmonizing all the energies around you. And that is greater than a 12-mile sphere of influence. Your light affects all of creation, especially everything that comes into your awareness. So basically, the new generators, even though they don't have a very large sphere of influence, the 1.5-inch, size of a small room. The home generator, the size of a home. But it is truly not the field of the generator, again, that is doing the work. It is your expansive awareness and clarity and light that affects the world. And it affects it beyond the 12-mile sphere of influence. So anyway, that's my first time really trying to explain this concept. We'll get it fine-tuned and refined so that you can truly feel into it. And that's the thing, is that, where we're stepping in the energies and in our own selves, it's beyond the logic. And we can't wrap our heads around most of the stuff because, well, we just can't. So much of it is so far out of perception and awareness because, we're still dealing with our main 5 senses. And there's so many of us that have expanded out into the senses beyond the human senses, the angelic senses, if you will, and are able to access and utilize a lot of those senses. Like your clairs, your clairvoyance, claircognizance, clair taste, smell, all those things. They're just other senses. And, as you move along in these fields, you will find that you can begin to sense more more things within the field. But at first, it is really beyond logic. And so that's really where we invite you to feel into, not only the concepts, but just the energies of the tools. Um, yeah, and right, Nika, and this is kind of and this is beyond well, the photons of light, yes, because light is nothing more than consciousness and awareness. And consciousness is not held by time. There's no linearity to consciousness. And so yeah, it is instant. It's rewriting the past, it's changing the future. um yeah, our light, our consciousness, it does travel instantly everywhere. um yeah, because the photons, because we see it as there's consciousness, light, waveform, vibrations, particles, and it's just all the way that our consciousness manifests into, well, that our consciousness patterns our energy, which then manifests all reality. um oh no, it's just really interesting too this past week to hear a lot of friends and acquaintances and other people that are just having a difficult time. And they get so, and it's a thing that I've just starting to see and realize, because I mean it's stuff that I've always done and I just did last week even. Of getting caught and intertangled and intertwined in this stuff, and you're just like, and you're like in this and this and this, and you're just so caught up in whatever this entanglement is that you have. And and some are in greater entanglements in their life, and it's easy to sit back and see, holy crap, man, you're in there deep, and you're in it. You just get so enmeshed in what it is, instead of stopping, coming back to heart, to center, to you, and allow yourself a breath of a whole different perspective. Because when we get tangled in there, the drama is in the details. I always want that bumper sticker. The drama is in the details, especially when we're dealing with anything in life, is that we get enmeshed into the details, the entanglement, and that is where we find the drama. And it's exciting, and it gives us something to work on and to fix and to mentalize and to, you know, make the human feel empowered. Oh, I did something. And it's addictive. It's something that we've always done. It's an old pattern, and it is counterintuitive to the direction that we were going, and that is, and how you want to feel. I know there's great joy, somehow, that we find these joys in such things like the suffering and the dramas and, the pains and things like that. We really, truly do find some deep part of us that enjoys that. And so one of the things here that we're going to talk about here today that we want to do a meditation with, do some work with, is what happens when you get really deeply entangled and for a while. And finding what that root of that is, and bringing it to your light, healing, clearing, release, wisdom. So many of the things that, I've seen last week, and within myself and within, others that I've, family and stuff that we've helped out here this week, is that there's a certain little part of us, a personification. It's an aspect of our soul. This could be a lifetime. This could be just a trauma. This could be like the wounded inner child from this life that is holding on to all this stuff. and you don't realize it, and it's there, and it's like the anchor for the things that's going on. And so my last bit that I talked about a few weeks ago, when I had all this stuff and I had such just irritation, anxiety, and just it was just intense. And again, I was not able to release. I couldn't get this to release. And that's with so many people I've heard this week is like, man, I've been working on this. I do the things, I go into the heart, the soul altar exercise, whatever, to release. And I feel like I'm truly allowed and I'm complete with it, but yet it's still there. And, because if you've gone through and you've done your release work with it, there is still a part of you that is getting something from it, whether it's that enjoyment of suffering and the traumas and the dramas or whatever, that enjoyment, or it's still serving you in some way. And it could be the enjoyment, but it is still serving you in some way if it is still active in your reality. So to assist with finding and releasing the root cause of some of these things is to simply, again, go into the heart space, invite in all that you are, like we did here in the beginning, inviting in all the parts to you. And that would include some of these parts that hold that anchoring of the old traumas and the energies that you're feeling, that you're just like, what is this? I can't find this to release. And so you sit there and with yourself and you ask for that part of you to present itself. And it's usually a personification of some kind, like, again, wounded inner child, old lifetime, whatever it is. We want to personify it because it's usually how it is an aspect that has had an incarnation, that has had an experience, that traumatized it held on to it. And as you are the designated ascendee of all the lifetimes, as they come home through you, oftentimes it'll get stuck there. I don't know what the reason is they get stuck. Maybe we feel like we need to process it. Don't process. Processing does nothing more than solidify things. It creates the gravity to bring it in. So try to allow yourself to present this to you, this part of you that is causing the ruckus. Then imagine connecting it to your light. You're just introducing this lost, wounded aspect of your soul. You are introducing it to your soul, to your light, and allowing it to shift there. That's all you need to do. You don't need to be involved with it. You just send it your love and support. You're not, in your forgiveness, you can't hold on to it and be like, oh, you sucker, I just want you gone. You did all this crazy stuff to me. No, you have to really, truly accept whatever part of you this is. Accept it, love it, and let it go. And then everything shifts if you allow it. Again, it's totally, when we do the soul altar exercise where we put something on the altar and then we step away. It's the stepping away that is the biggest thing there, because it's you saying, no, you know what? I'm done with this. All parts of me, that wounded part there that was wanting all this crap, no, it's done too, because now it is healed and came to soul. So now then, we, as me, myself, and I, and all that I am, and complete with this. So I let it go. I let it go to wisdom. So anyway, I hope that helps for those of you who here this week have been going through it. Hey, Christine from Oz. Yeah, Nika, it is really nice to have the tools to help bring those reminders, because that's is we just get so caught up. You get caught up in those entanglements, and it's very easy to do. And it's just really you being able to see that you're caught up in the entanglements and being able to say, no, wait, that's not what I want to do with this time that I have here in this moment, to be entangled in this silly crap that's not even mine. So that's huge when you can first see it and then just say, no, no. That's really all it truly takes. Is you just recognize it and saying no. But then there's all the other little tricks that you can do, like sitting there and breathing and connecting and finding that part and helping to get it to soul. But truly, when it comes down to it, you should be able to do this by just recognizing it and saying no, no more. Recently discovered Dragon Assist to bring our splintered aspects back in the divine wisdom from the experience. That is awesome. That is awesome. Yeah, I look forward to making the dragon wand here again soon. I know I talked about that here last week, I believe it was, and it's still an inspiration at the moment. So, just reading comments here. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I have a hard time. I was just reading some comments about wearing the pendants at night. Yeah, I have a hard time wearing any of these at night. But thank you for the question here. Are there ever entanglements that serve us or relate to a role we have here to play? Or is that me giving rationale to stay entangled? Oh no, in that's it. So Dr. Dream, that is a grand question. And everything is always here to serve us. And we're truly here to have the experience. The soul does not judge your experiences as good or bad or ugly or beautiful or anything. The soul is always rejoicing that I am. I exist. You know what? That is all the soul cares about and rejoices over. I exist. It doesn't care how you exist. That's up to you, because the soul doesn't, when things are complete, as in your experience, your lifetimes, your Akashic records, your everything, as it comes into completion, it comes into wisdom. So, like, let's say this entanglement, when you release this entanglement back to soul, it distills the essence of that experience. The rest isn't the rest is gone. The rest disappears. The drama and the details, it's no longer there. It is simply the essence of the experience. And so this whole concept of bringing the experience to wisdom, this has only been around for a few years. It's 2020, somewhere around 2019 to 2021 was when our soul started to actually turn all of this shit all these experiences into wisdom. And so this new concept of soul level wisdom, because this has been the setup since the beginning, but we weren't doing it. We were just we have this whole, the Akash record, the Akash, or whatever you want to see this as, it's like we have all this stuff. And so it's just been coming to wisdom over the past few years. And truly, we are designed to have the experience and not carry it and not have it, the baggage from it. It is designed that we are to be present, to have the experience in the moment. And in the moment, as we have the experience, it is turned to wisdom. And then we're not holding on to things. We're just present and in the moment. And that's where we're that's where we're going. I've had a lot of grand experiences of watching an experience turn to wisdom right before my eyes. That whole thing I talked about, like with my motorcycle, when I dropped my motorcycle off at the Harley dealership after 5 years of just intense passion with this thing and the experiences thereof. And every waking moment on the thing, it was my life, my identity even. And it's like when I went and sold the bike and I stopped and I took some deep breaths and I was just looking at everything. I was like, wow, why aren't I really sad and everything? So I looked at this, and all those experiences at once I witnessed being distilled by soul went to wisdom. And since then, I haven't had any regrets or sadness or desires even. It has been really beautiful, that knowing of releasing those experiences to wisdom. So yeah, in the help to answer that question that you can, it's one you have to definitely answer yourself, because you definitely know. But there is no thing that we are supposed to or have to do, in the things that we see as, this is the reason I'm on the planet, to save the world or to shine my light for everybody. That's all just macchio, spiritual bullshit. In that, the only reason that you are here is to have the experiences and to be here in this time right now. This is a magical time. You are already there. We're experiencing how we get there. And please feel into any of these things, because, those of us that are on the path, we have a knowing. We have a knowing that there's something bigger and grander and better than this, than what we've been doing. And we know it in our heart of hearts. And, that is what I ask for you to feel into, is that knowingness on any of these concepts. But yeah, and there's no right or wrong. It is okay to stay entangled, because if it brings you joy on some level, it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. If it is bringing you joy, because you're living this life for you and this world is for you, you're not here to save the world and everything else. Those are old things that entangle us more. But if that's the entanglement that you want to be in, is that I'm here to, change the planet, save the world, and that I have to do it mentally and through the human, that's fine too. It's a journey. But, when it comes down to it, how we truly save the world, change the world, because we all want to change the world. I know we do. And we do that by embodying our light and just being and allowing that light to exude from us into our own personal world. And as we each do this in our own personal world, that changes the collective world. Because the collective consciousness, mass consciousness, the matrix, however you want to see and say it, it is different for every person. We have an agreed upon set of things, like gravity makes things drop. You have to eat. Whatever all of the agreed upon things are. But each one of us is in a whole separate world and reality. And so as we do the work for ourselves, it is what shifts the rest of the world. Because, it's been interesting. And so here's the concept too, like when people were going through that sit down light chamber of ours, the ones with the toruses on both ends. And it's like when people would step out of there, their whole, their world would change, their perception would change. And it's like instead of before they went in there, that the world was full of people that just want to take advantage of you and fight and everything else. And then you step through there and you step out, and those aren't the people you see anymore. That's not what the world is full of. Now the world is full of people that are good at the core, that are striving to love and be loved. And so that is an example of how the light that you hold and exude into the world changes the world, because your world is different from mine, as different from every other person. But the more that we can bring the light, the harmony, the consciousness, the awareness, that brings more empathy, more love, more compassion. That is what changes the world, is how you first see it. That is what changes the world. Because you are creator. And then we get together with a bunch of other creators that are on the same wavelength as us. And that is the new earth. That is the new paradigm. That's the new world that we are imagining, envisioning to live in. And this isn't just mental mumbo jumbo that we try to create with this new world. We are creating it in the true way with our light. Again, we are at a time that we've never been anywhere before. And so, yeah, have the high hopes, have the high expectations, have the knowingness that everything is going to be grand, and it doesn't matter what the hell you do, really. It really doesn't. We're all getting there anyway. Holy shit, Dr. Dream. That's coming through here in a couple weeks. Oh, that's fantastic. I look forward to seeing you. Let's see. Nika, we're more aware of the access we have to all levels in our connection, reciprocity, and we are all of it. That is it. It's the awareness. Yeah, that is totally it, Nika. It's the awareness, because everything is always there. It is always there for us. All potentials in our field. And when you're in a little box and you can't see very far, your world is small. And the more you let go of the borders, the confinement of all the old things, your box gets bigger, and soon there's not a box. And that's where we're at now, is stepping out of the box of potentials. And we're not going to be able to go backwards, downwards, spirals, anything like that. And that's a beautiful thing, is that it is nothing but upward and onward and forward and every other direction from here. And that's it, because we're not staying linear, and we are becoming so much more than what we can even imagine right now. And you're bringing it all here. And that's the exciting thing. And that's what's going to be the exciting thing, is bringing it all here and playing with it on this plane. And especially when more and more of us step to that playing field together. Give it another 7 years, and I guarantee you, we will all be on the same playing field. And it'll be beautiful. And those who don't want to be on the same playing field, well, there's a different board game down the road, and that's where they can go hang out and have their good times. So, I don't know. Wild, good stuff. Well, I hope that, like I say, I just really want to try to bring that whole concept of personifying those old wounds Because it is a personification of you. It's an aspect of you. We could see it as a splinter or whatever. It's just part of you that is coming home. And in this lifetime, you were kind of the usher. You're kind of the gatekeeper. You're not trying to keep people out. You're trying to keep the gate open and keep the suckers going through. So, and sometimes they get stuck. And so then they manifest into your world in really strange ways. So yeah, just awareness. That's what it all comes down to, is awareness. And all right, I am going to stop chitter chattering. Well, much love, you guys, and I hope nobody had any burning questions here. And it was kind of I don't know. I'm going to stop talking. Much love, you guys. We'll see you next time.